So we've talked about the difference between linear equations and arithmetic sequence. Now you have to be able to go through from linear equations to arithmetic sequence, or from arithmetic sequence into linear equations. It's all the same thing. The only thing that you need to remember is this. Linear equation starts at 0, arithmetic sequences start at 1. Then we're going to add a new thing. Write this down. Slope is common difference. So slope in linear equations is common difference in sequences. M is equal to D. So I'm going to say that again, and once again, write it down, highlight it. This is the information that we really need. Linear equations, they start at 0. Arithmetic sequences start at 1. And slope is equal to common difference. M in linear equations is the same as D in sequences. So let's look back at this example that I did before. So if I was trying to go from a sequence into a linear equation, we already did that. We put the sequence as a table, and we clicked linear regression. We clicked zoom fit to make sure it went through every point. So I've gone from a sequence into a linear equation. How do I go from a linear equation back into a sequence? So I'm going to put up my formula sheet so we can remember what we need to go into. So I need to go from y equals mx plus b into a sequence, and I'm going to go into this sequence here. Now that we know what every single letter means, we are going to transform it from y equals mx plus b into a linear sequence. So I'm going to start off by typing a sub n because that's what I'm looking for. And you could be proper and put the sub. You do not have to because I'm not writing it down. Sub is ABC and then this. You don't have to learn how to do that because you never have to write it in the calculator. You're just going to write your answers in the electronic things that we do in class. So a sub n is equal to, remember, now we know what a1 means. What does a1 mean? My first term. Okay, so that means here's my linear function. I need to find out number 1. So I make that a table, and then I go to number 1. What is number 1? Number 1 is 74. So my first term is 74. Now remember, the difference between linear equations and sequences is linear starts at 0. So 0 is my y-intercept at 65. But sequences starts at 1, and 1 is 74. So I've got a sub 1 plus d. And again, my common difference is equal to my what in linear equations? My slope. So all I have to do is find my slope. What is my slope? My slope is my m. So it goes mx plus b. So m is equal to 9. So I'm going to say plus 9. And I'm going to double check that because we know how to do this by hand, right? The second y number minus the first. So I'm going to do 56 minus 47. And you're going to see that it's equal to 9. Why? Because the slope is equal to the common difference. I'm going to keep asking you these two questions. Linear equation starts at 0. A sequence starts at 1. And slope is equal to common difference. All right, so I'm at a1 plus d, parentheses. So I'm going to put parentheses. And then it says n minus 1. And now I've gone from linear function to arithmetic sequence. Now it says that it's in blue. I don't know. It is. And if you've done this correctly, what are we looking for again? Everything to match. So go ahead and write this sequence on the side here. To check your understanding, so I've just made this pattern that we worked on in a previous video into a linear equation that we did in a previous video, and I've just shown you how to go from a linear equation back into explicit arithmetic sequences. What I want you to do is check your understanding. Can you go from a sequence to an equation, and then from an equation to a sequence? So I'm going to give you the steps. Go ahead and do that now. So input a table plus input a table, put in your values. So whatever answers you had here, go ahead and put those in. You're going to get an equation by hitting flag. Once you have your equation, copy your equation. So click this. It copies right here. Make that a table, and then you're ready. Then once you have a table, make sure that you have a formula sheet to where you can see this formula, and you're just going to write it out. A sub n equals the first number. So what is the first number? Whatever it is. So you can look at the table 1 here and then write the first number. Plus d. What is d? The common difference is the same as the slope. So whatever your slope is on your equation, that's your common difference. Parenthesis n minus 1. Then you're going to bring it to me to check. Let's practice.